Most people think that if you are receiving, then you cannot be giving. And they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. And this is one of those apparent dichotomies that is causing so much stress, so much resentment, and so much depletion and burnout, if we're really honest about it. Now, what does receiving really mean? Actually, if you go to the Latin roots, it actually means take back. Now, that's interesting. So let me dive a little bit into that. To receive is not a passive act. In order to receive anything that is given, it is important that you actually take it. You welcome it. You rejoice because you have it. And so it truly means that no matter what's coming into your space, gifts, opportunities, support, whatever it may be, physical or otherwise, you're making a choice to receive. The more conscious you are about that act of receiving, the more intentional you are about the act of receiving, and the more in the knowing that that act of receiving is an act of giving, you are shifting so much in your life and empowering yourself so much. And what do I mean? Let me give you an example. When you give something to someone and you see that it gives them joy, or it's brought such relief, or has been such a support, or so much appreciated, how do you feel? You feel great. You feel good about yourself. This has an immense impact on you physiologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, at all levels. It is good for you. Now, imagine you gave something to someone and the person basically always said no thank you, or received it and didn't really care about it. So you couldn't really see the positive impact of what you were giving in their lives. Would you feel as good about it? No, you would not. And all those beautiful effects I just described will not be as full for you. So next time somebody gives you something, be it a compliment or lots of money or offers you support or an opportunity, my invitation before you say the habitual, I'm good, no thank you, I've got this, simply because you don't want to feel beholden to them, because you don't want to feel weak and uncomfortable, you maybe feel even unworthy, maybe you don't trust them, whatever the reason, pause and ask yourself, am I prepared right now to give the gift, of receiving to this person, so they can also experience the joy of giving in a way where it is received joyfully, gratefully, with appreciation. And there are several blocks to receiving. One of those blocks is not feeling worthy, feeling maybe shame, you're not good enough, feeling guilty, it's too much for you. That's one level of blocks. Another level of blocks in terms of receiving is if you are stressed out of your mind. If you're stressed all the time, tunnel vision, you can't even see the opportunities that are around you, simply waiting for you to open up your hands and receive them. They are already there for you. One good example is women who truly want to be in relationships and say there are no good men out there, but if we actually look around and be calm, there's several possible, probable partners that they could be with if they were calm enough to actually, number one, see, and number two, receive. Now, one way in which we also sabotage receiving is not feeling enough empathy for ourselves. Sometimes you've had a tough time. Sometimes you've actually been through a lot. But because you may have cut yourself off from your feelings, you don't even realize that at that point, you just may need some support, some kindness, a hug maybe, right? Somebody to just empathize with you. And if you're so disconnected, those who have a lot of empathy may see that you're crying out for this and may try to empathize with you. And instead you feel irritated and bite their heads off and say, like, I'm good, don't worry about it. What's this about? Etc., etc. And so there are many ways in which you can be blocking yourself up from receiving. So what I say to people is this. It may not be the amount of input or work that you're doing. It may not even be about your intentionality. Maybe you're very clear about what you want. The problem may be at the last end. Are you someone who has mastered the art of discernment and saying, this is now in my vicinity and I am prepared to take it into my hands and receive? I'm going to end on this note, which is to truly be generous in your giving. It gets to come from a full cup. And for you to have a full cup, you get to master the art of receiving. The more you are able to receive with ease, the more you will be able to give with ease. Giving is not the same thing as doing. You can do things, but in a transactional manner, expecting something else for it. And receiving is not the same thing as taking. Because if you're simply taking something which hasn't maybe been offered to you, at least not willingly, then what are you receiving really? And so my invitation is to look in your life. Where are the areas in your life that you have difficulty receiving? Is it compliments? Have you been criticized severely as a child? And so now anytime anybody says anything nice about you, it actually feels uncomfortable, it feels strange, so you deflect. That's one way. Is it that you simply cannot allow anyone pay for anything for you? You must pay your share or you'll pay for everyone. But you don't allow people pay for you. Is that because you need to control? Is that because you feel unworthy? Is that because of a relationship with money which is warped? What do all of these things signify for you? Is it that you need to do things by yourself and it's very difficult for you to accept support? Now, if you're this kind of person, it will take you so far. Independence is great. However, if you have a big vision, a vision that cannot be fulfilled by just two hands, then this way of being is going to limit you. And that limitation is unfortunate because that big vision, that big gift that you had to bring to the world cannot be fulfilled if you decide that your pride or your independence is more important than that vision coming to life. Receiving is an act of generosity to yourself and to others. So I invite you to really look at what is your receiving quotient. Are you a 1? Not very good. Are you a 10? Total pro. Are you somewhere in between? Whatever it is, this is not a moment to actually, be in shame or blame. It's a moment to truly look into how can I shift with this regard. Let me know what resonates. Love and light.